talk about Ashok Leyland because that particular counter is under pressure, or that stock is under pressure in trade today, but is actually recovered
It's a
from the
Chennai
day's
company,
lows.
by the way.
Yes, it is a Chennai company too.
The group company supports the Chennai Super Kings and the Gulf Oil. That's a Hinduja group company. I think they do.
They do.
Yeah.
I also support CSK, Nikunj. Sitting in Mumbai, no doubt. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk to the management of Ashok Leyland. We have Shenu Agarwal, who's the MD and CEO of the company, joining us. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Firstly, let's talk about the announcement that we had overnight where US President Donald Trump has now announced a 25% tariff on the imports of automobiles, which will be effective from April 3rd onwards when they start collecting the money. How do you actually see this impact the Indian auto industry?
Yeah, so I think my view is that US is not a very big destination for India products and vice versa. So I think it should not have a meaningful effect. As far as Ashok Leyland is concerned, we have no presence in US right now, so it is not affecting us at all.
Ashok Leyland has also announced a consultation process that could lead to restructuring in the Switch business account. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, that is right. Actually, Ashok Leyland has been committed to the UK market for almost last 15 years. But what we had seen that we could not just make the business viable there because of multiple factors. One was a lot of variation in the market of the EV buses. The other was also that our cost structure, being a UK manufacturer, was not very competitive, right? So we had been losing money in US and we had not been able to make it viable, although we tried different things. So, I mean, we had been thinking about it for some time now, but we thought that it is the right time to take this call to start the consultation process with the employees of the UK operations, which might potentially lead to the cessation of the manufacturing activities in UK. Now, I would also like to say that on the other side, the India EV bus and ELCV market is doing very, very well. Actually, our company, Switch India, which is focusing on the India market, is expected to break even at the EBITDA level in FY25. We have been able to notch up quite a good top line in FY25. We are also very optimistic about the prospects that we have in hand for Switch India for FY26. So it made sense for us to kind of defocus ourselves from UK, where we were not able to make the business very viable, and double down on the India market, which has very good prospects for the future.
Right, sir. So just following up on that, so you're saying that the restructuring of the UK business would result in a decline in your cash burn in overall Switch business. How much will you actually save?
Listen, in UK, we had been losing about 2 to 3 million British pounds every month, depending on how much orders we have in hand at a particular time. So definitely that should go drastically down. Our intent is to continue the aftermarket operations in the UK because we have a large vehicle part there, and we do want to support our customer base there. So that operation, that small operation will continue. However, aftermarket is generally quite profitable. So yes, we are looking at cutting down significant losses. And also, like I said, we want to double down on the India EV market now, where we are already EBITDA break even, and we are hoping to get to a PAT break even situation in the next 4 to 6 quarters as well.
So Switch UK has approximately $80 billion of GBP in debt. How will the potential manufacturing impact the repayment of this debt?
So listen, basically there are two obligations in the UK that we have to fulfill over a period of time. Now, one is a little bit more immediate because it is related to the closure costs, and that we are estimating at this point in time, we are estimating between 5 to 10 million pounds. Now, the correct number or the exact number will be revealed only once the consultation process is over in the next 45 to 90 days. But that is like one immediate obligation that we have to meet. Now, our board of directors, Ashok Leyland board of directors, had approved about 500 crores of equity infusion into Optare, which is a holding company of Switch UK. And therefore, we think that this money would be more than enough for them to take care of any one-time cost. As far as the debt is concerned, there is a debt of 80 million British pounds in the balance sheet of Switch UK. But we have understanding with the lender that that debt has to be repaid only by year 2029. So we have quite a bit of a long run there to repay that debt.
Right. You've said that Switch India is expected to achieve EBITDA break-even in FY25 and PAT break-even in e-bus operations by FY26. If you could help us understand what would be the key drivers that will aid this sort of an optimistic outlook of yours?
Yeah, as far as India EV market is concerned, we have two lines of products right now within the Switch entity, which is one is the e-buses. Now, e-bus market, as you know, is going to really explode in India. There is a huge amount of focus of the government also to turn the green sector, to turn the mobility sector, into greener options. And therefore, we are expecting that market will throw up a lot of opportunity in the near future. Second is that Switch India has been acutely focused on developing the right products. I think the maturity of the products and the range of the products that we have in Switch India rightly positions us to take this opportunity head on. So I think those are the two major factors that we are very optimistic about the prospects of Switch India as we go into the future.
Right. If you could help us understand what are the funding requirements that you're anticipating for Switch India as it actually goes ahead and scales up its e-bus operations? And also, what are the funding options that are being considered? Are you looking at some external equity infusion? If yes, then if you could help us understand when and how much?
Of course, we have been talking about this in the recent past. As I said, Switch India is EBITDA break-even already, and it is going to be PAT break-even within the next 4 to 6 quarters as well. And therefore, the company is now standing on its own feet, right? The only investments that we need in Switch India is to just continue our product development and product maturity journey. But the cash requirements will not be very significant. Now, as far as external funding is required for Switch India specifically, we are not in a big hurry. Whatever small requirements the company has, we can more than fulfill those through Ashok Leyland, because Ashok Leyland, as you know, is now in a negative net debt situation, which means we have good cash on the balance sheet. And we are hoping that by end of this quarter, it will further increase because the overall company is doing quite well in terms of profit and cash generation. So we are not in a hurry to go for any external fundraise. We'll wait for the right time to see which route we want to take, whether we want to do any private or public placement to raise external funds, or we want to go for an IPO in the next few years. But that all will be determined as to how the valuations for the EV industry are in the future.
Right. So despite the challenges that we've seen in the United Kingdom, Ashok Leyland believes that the value accretion from overall Switch EV business will be greater than the investment made, right? So if you could help us understand more on this, how this valuation is actually being assessed.
Of course. Listen, what we want to say here is because of this decision of Switch UK, which might eventually lead to cessation of the manufacturing activities. Despite that, the value of the Switch entities is far greater than the investments we have made, right? Which means that there is no fear or no danger of any impairments that we will have to do on the Ashok Leyland balance sheet.
So also I wanted to understand, and if you could help us with an update on the progress of the Hinduja Leyland Finance IPO. What are the remaining regulatory hurdles and the anticipated timeline for the listing?
Yes, we are already in that process. We are just awaiting a NOC from RBI now, and we have been responding to their queries, but we are hoping that it will come shortly. And after that, it will take about 2 quarters, maybe to complete the whole process leading to the listing.
Right, and lastly, let me ask about your CV business. How can I not ask you about that, right? What's your outlook for the CV industry when you talk about FY26?
So actually, CV industry has been showing signs, some good signs in the recent past. Even if you look at some of the research analyst reports, research agency reports, you will see that everyone is projecting a positive growth in the CV industry in the next year. I think overall GDP is turning out to be very well. Core sector is doing better than in the past. There are these fundamental requirements for the CV industry to grow. For example, the aging of the fleet is at its all-time high. The penetration of trucks in the country, and for that matter, even buses, is very low as compared to rest of the world. So I think the fundamentals are good. We have also seen some reduction in the interest rates. So I would say that it would definitely be in the positive for FY26, especially the trucks, which haven't done very well in FY25. I think those medium and heavy duty truck segments should grow. And also buses are on a good momentum. That momentum should continue going into FY26. So I think all the segments have some positive tailwinds, and we should see considerable growth in the CV industry in FY26.
All right, then we leave it there. Thank you so much, thank you so much for joining us on ET Now to talk about the corporate development, especially when you talk about Ashok Leyland. As you can see, the stock actually, it's under pressure, 1.6% downtick, but nevertheless a healthy recovery from the day's lowest point.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.